People message me to leave the place because it's not really safe. The coffee was the biggest disappointment. Would I ever imagine to live in Brazil? Okay, let's get to it. So, I'm Martin, and I travel to a lot of places because of this sport I compete in called ice cross. When it's winter over in Europe, I just bump around the globe and just go wherever the waves are. Recently, I got back from a 3-month trip to Brazil. I traveled along the Brazilian coastline all the way to a place called Itacaré. I lived there for a month and experienced the biggest cultural difference between Europe and Brazil. In this video, I want to give you a little perspective as a European on Brazil. I know a lot of people are scared to travel to this country, but many also love this place. Itacaré is a tiny little village by the ocean in a state called Bahia. It has a kind of hippie vibe and there's a lot of parties going on. It's as Brazilian as it gets. The vibe, the culture, the dancing, the beaches. It has it all. You can get lost in dodgy streets, but also find some of the coolest spots that you ever been to. I stayed in 4 different hostels because I wasn't really satisfied with the choices. The first one was really bad. I don't expect much from a budget-friendly hostel, so I didn't expect much comfort, but at least give me clean bed sheets. I made a review of this place, and let's just say it wasn't the smartest idea. As a European, I'm used to saying things out loud, and that wasn't really accepted in Brazil. I was forced to put the video down. The second hostel was much better, but still it wasn't the cleanest place on the earth. At least it was located on the beach. The dormitory looked like a prison cell, and it didn't feel super comfortable, but it had its charm. I reviewed this place in my previous video right here. The last place I stayed at was surprisingly really good. You get breakfast, clean sheets, for the same price as the other 2 bad hostels.
Great for sure.
Safety. A lot of people think that Brazil is not the safest country to travel to, and they're probably right. I've received a lot of comments on my Instagram post that I should be really cautious. One of the reasons was my review of a hostel. Some people messaged me to leave the place because it's not really safe because there are gangs around. That was a little bit scary. The second time we got into trouble was when I slept with my friends at this abandoned building, and people messaged me. We were pretty lucky to not get murdered because it's not really safe to be around and sleep in this kind of building. On the streets, you get to see heavily armed police or army men, which doesn't really make me feel safer. I saw a lot of people getting checked, hands on the wall, crazy. The best part about living in Itacaré are the beaches. There are a couple beaches you can hike to. The first one takes about an hour to walk to, but it's so worth it. The place was a little bit crowded when we got there, but wasn't too bad. On top of the hill lives the owner of Billabong, the surfing brand. It's definitely one of the nicest places to chill in Itacaré. And my favorite place was this hidden beach nobody goes to. It's just you and the nature around you. How cool is that? I tried to get there some fresh coconuts. It wasn't as easy as I thought. I really struggled. But then I managed to get one and just enjoy the fresh milk. Alright, food. I really struggled to order food in Brazil, especially with pão, which is bread. If you pronounce it wrong, you get in a lot of trouble. They have so many types of bread, so I tried to order them all, and it was always super awkward because I couldn't really pronounce it right. So people were giving me this weird look. But they warm up to me and I usually got what I wanted, which was bread, not the other thing. The next best thing I discovered in Brazil are tapioca crepes. They're so good, I can just eat them every day for lunch, dinner, breakfast, repeat. Again, it's so good, it never gets old. Acai bowls? Are you kidding me? Out of this world. They're so good. And on top of that, they're even healthy. Then there's coxinha, which is so damn good too. I couldn't get enough of it. The weird thing about Brazil is the coffee culture. I know the best coffee comes from Brazil, but that's where it ends. The coffee was the biggest disappointment. I was expecting the best quality anywhere, but that wasn't really the case. And also, I got usually coffee in a plastic cup, which is so bad that doesn't really make me enjoy the drink at all. What about people? At first, they don't seem very friendly. They somehow know you're not from the country, but once you start talking to them and you try to say any Portuguese words, they just turn into the nicest human on the earth. There's this thing so common in Brazil that's called Havaianas flip-flops. People are obsessed with them. They just wear them anywhere for any occasion. I wouldn't be really surprised if people surfed in them. So I had to get mine too, right? I got mine actually in Costa Rica for $40, which was a total rip-off. Goddamn. And after a while, I managed to break my Havaianas. In Brazil, you just don't throw them away. I went to the town to try to get them fixed. Ultimate fix for Havaianas is called prego, which is a nail in English. So I tried to get a prego, and people were giving me really confused looks like, why does gringo wants to buy a prego? Like, what for? I managed to get some pregos for free. That was really nice, but I didn't really know what to do with that. I tried to find some people that could fix my Havaianas actually. Or imagine I would find someone that would fix my Havaianas for free? Are you kidding me? Where am I? This would never happen in Europe.
No. This.
My Havaianas broke again after a while, so I had to get them fixed again. But this time it was a proper fix. A guy just put like a really strong wire through them. It holds until now. How's driving in Brazil? Really fucking crazy. There's probably no rules, except one, you can't drive with your Havaianas on, which is pretty weird. So after all, the country does care about the safety of their citizens. I've seen a lot of crazy things on the road and it was pretty wild.
Is this allowed? You don't get that.
Would I ever imagine to live in Brazil, given all the cultural differences and language barriers? Definitely yes. It's such a cool country with just really nice people. On top of that, they have the world-class waves. Personally, I really like the country and I would have stayed longer if my visa hadn't expired. It's such a huge country and there's so much more to explore. I just can't wait to come back and just see all the beautiful things there. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'm gonna try to do more. It will be fun. I promise. Cheers. Thank you.